Good evening, you guys. It's 9:46 p.m. and it is September 13th, 2024. That's crazy how this just day by day everything is just like inching closer to the end of the year. And I think that is so crazy how time works. Sometimes I picture a sundial when I'm watching the days and stuff like that go by on the calendar. I picture a sundial, in the shadow of a sundial, just kind of like moving about. I don't know why I think that. I don't even know why I'm mentioning it right now. Maybe it's connected to something ancient. I have no idea. Um, I have something that's on my chest that I really do want to get off my chest today, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's not bothering me to the point where it's disrupting my peace because, as we know, that's kind of like my whole MO. But I'm having some issues with, family structure and things like that. I'm not going to really speak too much on, the details, like really fine tooth comb details, but I definitely want to address something. On my website, which I was forced to make my website, I am Tylea B, hyphenated, because I was locked out of my email as I was fighting for my website to go up. And I didn't have any access to my DNS codes or anything like that so that I could set up my domain properly. So I was forced to buy another domain, and the secondary domain was im-tyleab.com, which has now expired. I was trying to implement a few other domain names for my website before I actually relaunch. And I actually own a few. I'm not sure how I feel about it. And I've let my website lay dormant for, what are we in the ninth month now? So maybe it's been about maybe 4 months, maybe about 4 months. I let it just kind of sit and was like, no, I had some issues, and I was like, no, let your website, you could still upload, I can still access everything, I can still, put information there, y'all just can't see it, right? Which seems to be the story with me. It seems to be a lot of what I'm doing and saying, people are not necessarily gaining immediate access to it. It seems that it seems like there's like some type of blockage or something like that is causing a disruption between me and the world. And I can see that now, and I'm just kind of like, it bothers me because I don't have a team. I haven't hired anyone to manage my information. I don't belong to anyone. I don't have a manager. I don't have a handler. I don't have any of that. And yet, and still, the way that my information is being put out there, it seems as if there is someone in particular who has a particular agenda, who is taking my information and I wouldn't even say spoon feeding it. I would say like probably with some chopsticks, just a couple little grains of rice at a time, at a time. You feel me? So, and I'm not really sure why that's happening. I think it might be so that somebody can possibly capitalize off of what I'm saying. Maybe what I'm saying is valuable to someone out there, and maybe somebody feels like it would make them some money or something like that in order to, if they were to like kind of like, you know, alter some of my stuff and put it out there. I don't know, but I really wish that somebody would have had a conversation with me about it before actually doing that. Because the reality is, and I actually said this on my website, but since it's down and you're not able to see it, I'm going to repeat myself, which I don't like to do. So whenever you hear me repeating myself, just know that I know I'm repeating myself, but I don't like repeating myself, but I see that there's a cause for me to repeat myself. And that right there really pisses me off at times, okay? Anyway, if somebody would have come to me and said, listen, I see that you're working with, this talent, that talent, or are you aware that you could go into this field and that, and you could actually do something here and there, and actually have that conversation with me and talk to me about, whatever your vision would be. And then we see where we could go from there. I would have appreciated that. I would have appreciated a conversation like that, and I would have respected a conversation like that had it been brought to me in the beginning. I'm not one of those people who believes that, I believe in ownership and all that good stuff, and I believe in, management and having a really good team in place, but I also believe in respecting people and their boundaries and their space and their art, whatever that art might be. And I'm not going to lie to you, I do feel extremely disrespected in that aspect. Okay? In a sense, I feel like without words, I'm being told that I can't be myself. And if I am being myself, that I have to be myself quietly, is what I'm being told. And I can't have that. I wouldn't be me and be able to tolerate something like that in my life. I'm going to take a pause for a moment. Okay, I've taken a few minutes. I had to breathe for a moment because I have been feeling like this for quite a while, and I'm not necessarily sure why that is actually happening to me. But like I said, had someone come to me with a conversation and actually, said, listen, I'd like to, represent you, or I'd like to work with you, or I'd like to help you develop this skill set, or whatever the case, I would have been open to that conversation, even though I'm not interested in working in entertainment at all. But I see that many people who have worked in entertainment, a lot of people have that story where they just did not, they're like, oh no, I was an accountant over at such and such and such, or I was doing this, or I was doing, it was always something different. And so I don't count it out. I just didn't really count it into my plans as an individual. I really focused more on my family and taking my classes whenever I could, and living my life and trying to do things the way that I know that they were supposed to be done. I've always lived my life upright. I'm not perfect, which is one of the reasons why I allow myself to be imperfect at times, because I know that the standard that I have for my life has been set to a certain standard. Like it's been established for a while. Like, no, we don't do that. No, we don't do that. No, I'm not interested in that. And so sometimes I have to tell myself, you know what you're about to do? You're about to go live a little bit and stop. Okay, stop, putting so many restrictions on yourself. You've dedicated yourself, like many other women have had to do, and some men as well. You dedicated yourself to your children, and you poured everything that you had and everything that you loved into your family. And it's time for you to take a moment. I call it stealing your own time. And I would take a moment, I would steal my own time from time to time, where, I knew that I was supposed to be doing something else. I have something else scheduled, and I would just cancel it out or just not do it and do something that truly made me happy. And who's to say that had a conversation like that actually presented itself to me in the right way, not in a shisty way, who's to say that maybe I would have found something else that could have made me happy too. And I could be working in that lane or in that field at this point. Or maybe that's the reason that some of this is happening. I feel like I've been thrown into something that has become extremely complex now. But I believe that whatever it was in the beginning, it wasn't that. You know, I think maybe even it could have even been some people just trying to be funny. You know, I'm not sure. But whatever it is, you know, I can see where it may be a possibility that someone has made a mess out of something, and I'm not sure exactly who it is, but I don't have anything to do with that. You know, and the things that I have possibly you know, maybe misstepped on or whatever, I've addressed those things. So I'm not really sure, you know, like what all this, you know, this could be about. I'm not sure. So I've spoken on it before. Like I said, I spoke about it on my website, but you guys don't have access to it. I've spoken about it on my private voice memos, but obviously those are being, you know, taken and put out there in some form, some planned way that I have nothing to do with, you know, whatever the plans are for it. It's been really tough, to be honest. It's been really tough just kind of like dealing with what all is happening because I'm just the one that is being what feels like silenced, to be honest. I'm just not sure why. But as you guys can see, and I think maybe that's why I don't necessarily mind sharing like my boring updates and stuff like that. I don't think I don't mind doing that with y'all because I'm like, no, y'all are gonna see a different me in a certain amount of time. But right now, this is really just me trying to get back to myself, chill, and you know, balance and keep my peace because there's a lot that's going on that's trying to disrupt my peace and disrupt who I am, and it's not okay. And I'm very vocal about it behind the scenes, you know, so it's not okay. Anyway, despite all of that, though, I'm actually having a good day, and I relaxed today. Um, actually relaxed, you guys. So, you know, but I relaxed today and it was pretty good. It was nice. And I'm getting ready to watch a movie and I will tune in with you guys maybe in a couple days.